Hey guys! So this week I took a MAF test. No, not a math test like 2 plus 2, a maximum aerobic function test. This was developed by Phil Maffetone back in the day, and it's all about maximizing your aerobic function while staying below your max heart rate. And this is supposed to help with greater fitness gains in the long run. So today I'm going to show you the results of 2 MAF tests that I took, and we're going to talk about whether I would recommend the Maffetone test to you or not. Let's get started. Welcome or welcome back to Racing with Ray, where each week I drop a video on running, biking, or other fitness trends. So if that sounds cool to you, be sure to hit subscribe below so that you don't miss anything. Okay, so the Maffetone method first helps you by helping you determine what your maximum heart rate should be during most of your aerobic activity. So they recommend starting with 180 and subtracting your age. From there, you can subtract another 5 beats per minute if you've been injured or sick a lot over the past year. And if you've been exercising over the past couple years and are not prone to injury, you can add 5 to that max heart rate. So my number for the purposes of this exercise is 150. So when I take my test, I'll be trying to see how fast I can do each mile while making sure my heart rate is below 150. There are several different ways that you can do a Maffetone test. You can do it while biking, while running, or while walking. I'll be doing a 3-mile run and measuring my results over the course of that run. Now I actually ended up doing a second Maffetone test over the course of 5 days, and normally they don't recommend doing that. The Maffetone method says maybe once a month you can check your results, just so that you don't become overly obsessed with the numbers. But I had a very good reason for retaking that test, and I'll get into that a little bit later. There are a lot of different heart rate monitors that you can use for this test. I chose to use what I already had on hand, which was a Fitbit. This is a Charge 3. There are probably other heart rate monitors out there that are slightly more accurate, but I chose to use this because I didn't want to spend any extra money right now. And you may choose to do the same. I just finished the first step of the Maffetone test, which is a 12 to 15 minute warm-up. It is currently 77 degrees outside and 94% humidity, and I'm hoping that that doesn't impact my test results too much, but man, I'm already drippy with a little bit of sweat, so we're going to get started with that first mile, and I'm going to try to keep my pace at a range that my heart rate doesn't increase over 150. Let's get started. Well, I finished that first mile in about 13 minutes 46 seconds, if I heard it correctly. So I think this humidity is really affecting me. I'm having to walk quite a bit to keep it under 150. On to mile 2. This is one of the necessary walk breaks. Don't be ashamed of them, guys. It'll get us there. And with that, we're at the end of mile 2. I think it said my average was 14:47 or something like that, but that'd be the average between miles 1 and 2. We've now completed the 3 miles for the shorter version of the Maffetone test, and I did that in 46 minutes total. We'll look at the splits in just a minute to see how those minutes per mile stacked up. I have here the split times from my run. My first mile took me 13 minutes and 47 seconds. The second was 15:50 and the third 16:21. So you can see that my miles did get slower over time as my heart was trying harder and harder to stay within that range. And the test does say that this will happen. Your mile times are expected to get more difficult as you continue on through the test. Given all my struggles with the heat and humidity when I took my first test, I had to wonder if there was any allowance for that. Does the Maffetone method allow you to let your heart rate spike a little bit if it's over a certain amount of degrees outside? But I found an FAQ on this topic, and the result was absolutely not. But they did say that even when you're out there and you're running slower because it's hot outside, you are still getting a very good intense workout. So your muscles may not be coming as strong as they would if you were running faster, but you still still are getting a very intense workout, which is good for your overall health. But because of this, I decided to take a second MAF test right after sunrise. I was hoping that it might be cooler out and that I might get slightly better results. Here's how that went. This is 5 days after my original MAF test, but I'm out here to take another one. The main reason is because the last time I ran, it was really hot and humid outside. It was 77 degrees, 94% humidity, and I think that really affected how fast I was able to run while keeping my heart rate low. Now, ironically, today it is actually 2 degrees hotter at 79, and the humidity is about the same. So that part shouldn't change much, but the nice thing is I think it's about to rain, which normally I try to avoid on runs, but I think that's making it a bit cooler. There's a little bit of breeze, and so far no rain. So I'm hoping that this will make for a really good run, but ultimately it's all about progress over time. So I realized that my first couple runs using the MAF method may not be that great, and technically that is okay. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes. My first mile was completed in 13 minutes and 32 seconds. Slightly better than last time. But I can see the clouds are pretty gray. It's about to get real. And that's the second MAF test in the books. And oh man, that rain feels so good. So much better than all that heat and humidity I was facing in the last time. So let's go back to the house. I think it said, oh sorry, but the rain's clouding my eyes. It said that my average pace is about 14-16 in total, so we'll look at the mile splits in just a minute. Here's the data for my first run compared to my second run. Now you can see that my first mile was run in a similar amount of time, but those second and third miles were much improved in the second test. I attribute this mainly to the fact that it started raining after about 1.5 miles during my test, and that really cooled down my body's temperature overall. So this is something I may try to use in the future. Not that I'll try to run in the rain, but I'll try to make sure that I'm running at a time that is slightly cooler. Now going into this test, I thought the hardest part would be forcing myself to run slower than I'm used to. But that's something that I was able to psych myself up for before going into the test. What actually ended up being the hardest part was that I had to check my Fitbit constantly to see if I was in range. I was constantly finding that I would be around 140 beats per minute, and so I'd start running and then I'd look down a little bit later and see, oh wait, I'm already at 160. And so just having to constantly check up on myself instead of just being able to enjoy the run was a downside. Now you can probably get a fitness tracker that will beep or tell you when you've crossed your maximum heart rate threshold, and I think that might make this whole process a little bit easier. So will I be taking the MAF test again? Absolutely. I think this is a very great way to build my aerobic potential over time. Question of the day: do you use the MAF method, or have you in the past? What have been your results, and would you recommend it to other people? Hey guys, if you got value out of this video, be sure to press like down below, and also subscribe for more tips and tools on how to improve your personal best every day. Bye guys!